All right. I'm recording.
Okay. This is the Outlander Podcast, take 1.
The Outlander Podcast.
Yeah, what's it called?
The name? It's the Outlander Podcast now?
This is the outrageously stupid. No. The hell's her name again?
The OuterBelt.
The OuterBelt.
I remember that because you talked about how your belt was not clear through security.
Not
so
through, yeah. Well,
I keep wanting to say outer loop.
That's what I want to say is outer loop.
Yeah, the OuterBelt. I realized I was old today. You know what made me realize I was old today?
You're what today?
Old.
Old?
Yeah. The UPS guy showed up and knocked on the door and delivered a package from Cologuard. You know what Cologuard is, right?
I do.
In
It's
high
the-
school, they protect the flag?
Right. Not color, but colo, as in colon.
Oh,
So they gave me an alternative to a traditional colonoscopy. They send you a kit in the mail where you collect your own sample and send it back to them.
So I assume like what, spit, blood?
Oh, no, poop.
Poop.
You put poop in some kind of... I didn't open it.
No crap.
Didn't you? No, yes crap. Yes crap goes in this kit and you send it back to them and they test it for different things. And if it comes back with bad stuff, then you go in for the traditional colonoscopy.
Oof.
Yeah, which I'm hoping I don't have to ever do.
Yeah, that would be nice not to ever have to do that.
Yep.
But
Yep.
It sounds terrible.
It does.
How are you going to work out who's going to collect the sample?
I think we're going to let Annie do it.
Okay.
I mean, we collect her sample all the time to take it to the vet, so I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Sounds terrible. I can't wait to...
Collect a sample or go on, do the whole 2-day regimen where they flush you out and you have the poops
Yeah,
for 2 days.
that's terrible. I remember...
I'll just dig in the toilet and grab it, with a glove or something and put it in the thing.
Yeah, vinyl glove.
Yeah.
Just rinse it off before you put it back for cleaning
Right,
dishes
exactly.
later. Yeah. I remember when Dad had his... back in the day, and I was living
Right.
at the house down in Louisiana, and I was so confused because he brought home these giant jugs of like liquid chalk,
Right. I heard about those things.
and it was like watching pure terror every time he had to mix it up, and I'm
that's awesome.
I'm gonna die young.
That's
I
awesome.
really am. Hopefully, I don't know. Probably not.
Let's hope not. I really don't want you to die young.
No, I'm gonna
Yeah.
live till I'm 100, and I'm gonna be miserable for the last 20 years of my
My
life.
man Billy Joel says only the good die young.
He did say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you're not going to die young. 'cause you're not
Meanwhile,
part of the
he's
good.
87 years old and still touring.
Yeah, exactly. That
And-
says something.
And Elton John finally decided to take time off to raise a family at 82 or something.
Yeah.
Or 72.
It's the perfect time for it.
It's the perfect time.
perfect time for
You know,
it.
you get in there, you get to have kids, you get to enjoy them, and then you die before you have to pay for the wedding.
I'm thinking 30 years from now, I'll have another family, to go along with my 50-year-old kids. I'll have 2-year-olds.
Yeah,
I think Buttermilk will go for that.
Yeah, I think it'd be a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. Yeah.
There's nothing like running around chasing kids as
It's nothing like your baby mama changing the kid's diaper and then changing your diaper.
Are we gonna get started?
I thought we were.
Oh,
I thought we were going to open the show with poop talk.
I like that idea.
Can we put some like fart sound effects in here too?
I don't have any of those.
Jerry's got some though, I'm sure.
I'm sure we can find something.
We'll look and see. Welcome to the OuterBelt Podcast. I'm Patrick, and over here on my right we have Laughing McGee. We'll take that again in a second. Take
That was
two.
just too funny.
All right, so from the top.
You know how I knew I was old today? I'm a professional, man. I've been doing this for 3 years now. I'm an old hat. I can do it over and over and over.
So how do we open this thing?
Thought you already had that down.
I thought we were already open.
I thought we were open too, and then I started laughing too much. Couldn't help myself.
We were on such a roll.
I think we're still on a roll. I think we just go with it and see what happens.
Let's ask the audience. Audience, what do you think? Do we just go with it? Okay, well, the audience has it. Audience has spoken, which is crazy because we pre-recorded this. But anyways, hi.
You're Patrick. I'm Chili.
Yes, I'm Patrick. To my right is
Chili.
I think you're supposed to say my name is Chili.
No, that's my name is Slim Shady.
I thought that was my name is. My name is
what? Chili.
Oh man.
Yeah.
We're gonna lose our corporate sponsor if we keep this up.
We probably are.
And over here on my left side, I got my producer Jerry Bear in the house. How you doing, Jerry?
Doing pretty good. How are y'all?
We're doing. I found out Chili was getting old today.
Yeah.
By the start of this podcast.
I am getting old. It's a fact of life. I had surgery last week, Cologuard this week. What's next? I wish there was someone here older than me to ask that question of, but there isn't. So, just old. But I'm still driving. I drove that nice, sweet tractor today.
How was that nice little tractor?
It rides so nice.
Does it?
Even in the wind, it just cut through the wind like no problem.
Well, it doesn't have a box on it.
It doesn't, but it's still big. The wind was blowing me all over the place, honestly, but it rode so smooth.
I can imagine.
Beautiful truck.
I was nervous, too, because I remember we had a couple Western Star tractors back in like 2017, 18, something like that. Jerry, were you around for that?
Yeah, I think so.
I think you had just gotten over here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had those two tractors, and I remember Bob telling those things out from Memphis,
Yeah.
one of them, over here to Columbus, and like, A, just shocked at how good the fuel economy was,
Sure.
but B, realizing I have no brakes, I have no maneuverability.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Were they factory sleepers, though, or custom?
Factory sleeper, Western Stars.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Bobtail on a factory sleeper is miserable. You have no weight on your steers, on your drives, excuse me. I've did that once back in Oregon. Driving this thing was like driving a straight truck, honestly, because it's so big.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still 30 feet long. I can't see the back of my truck. I can't see the back of the box anymore. But just with that in mind, it still drove like a dream. Great truck.
I can imagine. That is a massive truck. I'm looking very forward to starting this whole custom sleeper tractor thing off.
I am too.
I've was talking today with my truck salesman about a few ARI builds that we're doing after this one, and
Great.
Some more bolt builds, and just it's exciting. It's a whole new type of trucking that we haven't done in years, and I'm looking forward to jump back in. I'm looking forward to the challenges that come with that, and really learning that side of the market.
Sure. Talking to the folks at Panther today, they're excited about having us in the tractor market too. They really are.
Yeah.
So we'll see how things go with them.
It's a gorgeous truck, and
Yes.
I know we're talking about it. So it's a 2022 Western Star 4900, 49X with a 150-inch bolt sleeper on it. It's got a big old DD16. It's like 600 horsepower.
Oh, it gets up and goes.
It's a monster.
It's got crazy torque.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's really awesome.
Yeah.
Automatic transmission, so it's very, anybody can drive it. It is a beast. It's going to be our flagship truck. And side door on the sleeper, kind of like an RV has a shower and a toilet on it. So actually, if you go to our YouTube channel, you can actually see a video that Jerry Bear made of this truck a few days ago, and it's really gorgeous.
Good video.
It was a
Good
great
video.
video. I was like pumped watching it. I'm like, I want to get myself back into a truck and go drive this thing. But I've done that. I've run a fleet while driving, and it is miserable.
If I could drive that thing without a trailer on the back, because I would have no desire to pull a trailer ever again, I'd drive it all day long.
Yeah, like to the house and back.
Yeah, just around the neighborhood.
Around the
So you
neighborhood.
can grab groceries in it. I'm good.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to worry about your groceries getting warm by the time you
wouldn't.
get home.
No. It'd be perfect.
Thing's got a big old household refrigerator, freezer
does.
in there.
Yeah.
It's a sweet ride.
Sweet ride.
And we're gonna put that over at Panther Premium Logistics, where it's gonna be running pharmaceuticals. So it's never gonna have a heavy weight on it. It's really gonna be a money making machine. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, me too. I'm really excited about getting back into tractors from my perspective, not from Hyfield's perspective. I wasn't here when you ran tractors before, but learning that side of the business as well. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely is.
A lot of challenges, but a lot of fun.
Yep. Yeah. Well, the challenge is, anytime you're being stretched, anytime you're pushing, you're growing.
Sure.
That's
certainly.
That's part of the fun.
Yep.
So on this podcast that you're listening to, we're going to be discussing. We really should have thought about this before we started it.
Should have wrote something down.
We should have wrote something down. We don't really know.
We don't. We're just going to get in here and do it. I mean, I think a lot of the stuff we want to do is get feedback from our people, right? Whether it's Hyfield family or other friends of Hyfield family, people that want to know what's going on in the trucking industry. I think we're going to take feedback from those folks. We're going to share things like the tractor, taking it up to Medina today to get it branded and those types of things. I think we'll cover things from all different perspectives, the ops side, the maintenance side, the recruiting side.
Absolutely. Throw a few safety discussions in there occasionally because our lawyer said we had to. And we're going to also... lawyers.
Yeah.
Anyways.
You pay them, they tell you what to do.
I didn't need a boat. So, no, we're going to be talking about all kinds of stuff. We're going to share some personal stuff too, because we live fascinating lives. And we know that, who wouldn't want to hear us talk about that?
Right.
I know Jerry does. Jerry, you published all over Facebook this past week. He bought him a sports car. Did you see that?
That's a sweet ride.
Thing is fine. What'd you get, Jerry?
A 2023 Acura TLX A-Spec.
All-wheel drive.
All-wheel drive.
Is it really all-wheel drive?
Yes.
That thing.
Super handling all-wheel drive.
That thing is sexy.
I was in my living room about to get my pajamas on, watching TV. I get a text message from this character. He's like, "Hey, you home?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's great. It's what you want to see.
Right?
We need to talk."
Yeah, exactly.
And he was like, "Come outside." So I'll walk outside, and as I open up the door, I'm like, "All right, he's messing with me. This must be a test drive, right?" And he's like, "What do you think?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's nice. What do you do? You thinking about buying it?" And he's like, "I own it." And I'm like, "What?"
I already thought about it. Already did it.
Already thought about it. Spent the time
Yeah.
about 3 hours at the dealership, I think is what Don said.
Yeah, it was about that.
So
So that was easy, quick, fast, 3 hours.
Yeah, it wasn't
you
too
didn't
bad.
spend your whole day there.
And that included the test drive and everything.
Wow, that's awesome.
yeah,
That's awesome. Melissa showed me the picture on Facebook that the other morning, I guess the day after you got it, and I was supposed to meet Jerry at the yard at 11 o'clock, and we've been bouncing back and forth with different trucks at different shops, and I was leaving to go pick up Mel from TK, I think it was, at 11 o'clock. Forgot about Jerry completely. So I'm leaving the yard. He's pulling in, and if it hadn't been for Melissa showing me that picture that morning, I would have driven right on by him and left. But luckily, she showed me that, so it saved me from a lot of embarrassment with Jerry.
I've had that happen quite a few times. There's nothing like someone rolling into town. Oh yeah, let's meet up. Let's do something. And then like an hour past it, you're like,
Whoops.
"Oops." Of course, then my default is always like, "Well, they didn't bother calling
Right,
me."
exactly. Reach out.
Yeah, but
Say something.
the one downside with Columbus is that it is such a large metroplex to where, if I'm supposed to meet someone at like one of our vendors down in OuterBelt or something,
Right.
It's 45 minutes from
It
my
is,
house. It's
yeah.
25 minutes or
From the
so
yard,
from the
yeah.
yard. If we forget, it's like, oof, okay. I have shown up and the repair's done and they're just waiting on me, and that's completely embarrassing. But I try not to let that happen. I started using a thing. Did you know your cell phone has a calendar built in?
I did. I never used it. And you know why I use it now? Melissa.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She puts everything on the calendar.
It's
We even
super
planned.
helpful.
I shouldn't talk about that.
Yeah.
Everything goes on the calendar.
Yeah. Well, planning is good.
Planning is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So we will, as you can tell, we're open to feedback. So if you have any listener, if you have any ideas out there that you'd like us to talk about, cover, discuss, news that's happening, current events, we don't really care what they're about. Trucking, not trucking.
We've got lots of opinions to share.
We have so many opinions. That's one thing we do love is a good opinion.
Yes,
As long as
good opinion.
it agrees with me.
Agrees with us. Yep.
And so, and the nice thing about it is you got 3 people here who agree on everything.
Yeah, sure, if you say so.
They're upstairs. They're not in this. They're not talking. They're not talking to the microphone. But we do.
They're
have
not going to
3.
be on the podcast.
No.
So we do have 3 people
No,
who agree with everything.
That is no fun. So yeah, if you have any ideas, suggestions, please let us know. We are looking for conversation, things to talk about. So I have one more. So switching gears, I have an idea.
Okay, I'm listening.
For those of y'all that are not watching, you're listening. I have on my desk a model of an airplane. I'm kind of a AV geek, which is an airplane geek. Love flying. I love travel. I love different airplanes, different airlines. We could just have a podcast dedicated to that, which Vince said I was not allowed to do. So, but I did want to say, on the corner of my desk, I have a Boeing 747 model airplane. It's painted the colors of Lufthansa, which is a German airline. And I've got a lot of these models. The unique thing about the model airplanes that I have is, with the exception of 2, every other one I've flown on and have a story behind.
Wow.
So my question is, and when I say I have a whole bunch of these, I have
a lot,
30, 40.
Yeah.
And I'm still collecting them. So my question was, should I rotate these out weekly and give you a little snippet of what the airplane is and why I have it?
I think you should. I think people would like to see to hear about what that airplane is on your desk. I think that's a great idea.
A couple seconds. What do you think,
Yeah.
Jerry?
Sounds good.
Just a little history, a little bit about me.
It's funny because it's still transportation, right?
It is still transportation.
what
it's air cargo.
are-
We're the cargo, but
What are pilots other than truck drivers in the air, in the sky? They're hauling cargo, like you said. It's human cargo. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's freight.
correct. Yep.
But it's all about transportation.
It is all about transportation. It's keeping it moving. It's going. They still have to log hours of service just
Right.
like we do.
Yeah.
It's. I think the 2 are related, and it's something that I kind of like. And it's my podcast.
Well, how many
So-
times? I guess I was mistaken in thinking it was our podcast, but okay, it's your podcast.
That's what I mean.
No,
that's,
yeah, you're right.
that's what I mean.
Right,
No, it's our
yeah.
podcast. No,
it's your podcast. I get it. It's okay. I'm not too hurt by that.
We're gonna edit this out, right?
No, we're not editing this out. We're gonna let my frustration, not really frustration, my
Exaggeration.
my faux shame. We're gonna let it shine.
All right.
I forget what I was gonna say now. Something about freight or something. Oh, how many times have our contractors picked up from airports freight from or cargo from directly from the plane? Sometime.
All the time.
All the time.
All the time.
All the time. So
Yep.
it ties together. Certainly.
Yep.
It certainly ties together.
Absolutely. Well, this little 747 in the Lufthansa livery, it's a 747-400, so it's not the most current model. It's the one before that.
Okay.
I picked it out for 2 reasons. One, this past week, Boeing delivered the very last
I saw
747
that.
they will ever make.
That's crazy.
So since like 67 or something, they've made this plane, and it is officially over the Queen of the Skies, over a 50-year run. No mas. If you want one, you got to buy used. You cannot buy a new one ever again, unless you buy the entire Boeing company.
So
build
those
it.
early 747s,
Yes.
they were getting true colonoscopies and not Cologuard.
Yes. Yes, they were. Yes. Yes, they were. You know what's crazy about 747? This is a big plane. It's got 2 decks. You've seen them all over. I mean, they've been making them forever. For most people, when you think of an airplane, you think of this one. The upper deck doesn't quite go the whole way. It's got a little hump up there. The reason that upper deck exists is because when Boeing designed this plane, they thought every airplane was going to be going forward to be supersonic,
Okay.
like the Concorde,
Right.
and we'd be flying around at like 3,000 miles an hour. So they built it with the upper floor so that the whole plane could be converted into cargo for when these became obsolete.
Really? Because the supersonic planes would take over?
Because the supersonic planes would take
Wow,
over.
Interesting.
And come to find out, 50-something years, 60 years later, that never happened. And they had one of the longest, greatest selling airplanes of all time.
Has Boeing ever built a supersonic plane?
So they designed one, and there's a lot of complications that go along with it. Concorde actually beat them out.
Okay.
And once they started flying Concorde, they realized the market was so small
Right.
that they would never be able to.
The cost was so high.
They'd never recoup their investment. They stopped.
Haven't we seen a company flying supersonic planes or building, designing, something news about supersonic airplanes currently?
Yeah, Boom is BOOM, Boom, like a sonic boom. They are actually trying to build them right now. United Airlines and American Airlines have actually already placed orders for the airplane.
Okay.
They have the technology is just it's gone, as you can imagine, so far since since the 60s
Yeah.
that they were actually able to make the planes so aerodynamic that the boom is actually not that loud. And
Isn't that the fun though? Make some noise.
well, I mean, not if you live next to an airport. And so
Don't live next to an airport.
well,
Simple enough.
yeah, but if you live in New York City or Boston, that's hard to do.
Don't live in New York City or Boston. Okay, I'm not being realistic. I recognize that.
But if you
I'll
live in
stop.
Los Angeles, you got like 8 airports all around.
You do.
So
You truly do.
it's really cool. What they're doing is the boom is a lot quieter. The cost of the airplane is a whole lot less. I mean, if you factor in the dollars, right?
Right.
So yeah, that's some exciting stuff that'll be happening. But I mean, we're talking that's a decade away.
It is a while. Yeah, it's
But they've
time.
got some huge investors. So I think if anybody, they've got the best shot of doing it. So
Well, we'll wait and see. 10 years from now, mark this date. It's
yes.
It's February 2023. So on February 3033, come back and we'll report on the success or failure of Boom.
I have an idea. If we're still going,
Yeah.
we're going to be podcasting on the
On a
plane.
Bo- that's
On
great-
the
that's
boom
great. Yep.
plane
Yep.
for
10
this
years from
date.
now. Check
Jerry,
back with us.
Jerry, can you track that?
Yeah.
'cause
Put
we're
that
gonna-
on that calendar thing you use.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we'll forget by what Sunday.
But I already forgot. Can you send me a calendar reminder, please, Jerry? I appreciate
Absolutely.
that. And I'm going to get one from you and one from Melissa because that's what she does.
Yes.
So,
So that's the Boeing 747. That's why I have it out
Cool.
today. My experience with it, Eric and I took a trip a while back, actually mid-pandemic, a extended weekend. It was literally just a long weekend to Switzerland, and realized it's really cold and we don't ski, and that was not necessarily the smartest idea in the world, but it was pretty. But yeah, that was about it. And we flew back home on this guy.
did you sit in the
and,
lodge with hot chocolate at least?
I did, yes.
There you go. That's all you need to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
May have had a hottie toddy in there too.
Yeah.
I tried a Negroni. It was terrible.
Wrong weather for a Negroni.
There's
no
what
good
is
weather
what is
for
the
a
good
Negroni.
weather?
You're right.
If you
You're
end
right.
up
It's
in
not.
Hades or something,
Maybe.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's the plane of
Cool.
the day.
Thanks for sharing that with us.
I it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I bet.
Yep.
I
I do
bet.
love air travel. The fact we can get somewhere so fast. It's so cool. So in full candidacy, we've already shot this episode.
We
So
did.
what we're actually recording right now is 1.2 or 1.5.
1.5.
1.5? Okay. So we're shooting episode capturing,
Recording.
recording. Thank you.
Recording, yeah.
We're recording episode 1.5. The first episode, I'm not saying it was terrible. I'm just saying I fell asleep halfway through listening to it.
I didn't get halfway through before I started falling asleep watching it.
I had to edit the whole thing.
I'm so sorry.
Thanks, Jerry.
We learned a lot. Let's just say we learned a lot. And we're probably going to learn a lot from this.
Yeah.
But this one's going to stick because we were threatened by legal. If we didn't put an episode out, they would remove our funding. So
The sponsors have a lot to do
the
with
sponsors,
what we do, don't they?
and they dictate
They really
everything.
do. They do.
So we had, in the original episode we recorded that was never released to anybody, we talked about a couple news articles that were interesting, and they actually were very relevant to the trucking we're doing right
They
now.
were, yeah.
And we actually talked like several articles, but there were two that really stuck out that I really wanted to talk about. And the first one was on Freightways and publications. If you go to freightways.com or you can jump on their Facebook page, they talked about an interesting purchase that was made.
Okay.
That affects our business tremendously. JB Hunt, big truckload carrier.
Yeah, big truckload carrier.
Purchased 15,000 trailers from Wabash National. Now, Wabash National is the largest trailer manufacturer in the U.S. They're a very good company. We buy a lot of their boxes that we put on our trucks, and it has become almost impossible to get boxes from them.
I think the interesting thing that I took away from that article, not just the one thing, but JB Hunt is buying dry vans from Wabash.
Yes.
In the quantity that Wabash is converting one of their reefer factories.
Correct.
From building reefer trailers, refrigerated trailers, to strictly dry vans. That's going to hurt us when we need these reefer boxes for our FedEx trucks.
Well, and that's what we're encountering. And it's not just reefer boxes. We're also looking at the dry van stuff from them on the Panther side.
Really?
So,
wow.
We've reached out to them, and they're saying like, we can't touch you, and it's been frustrating for the past few. It's been frustrating for the past few months. We've been dealing with them, talking with them, keep getting all these pushbacks, but they're still making trailers. So we're like, what's really going on?
Sure.
This is what's really going on. They have changed their business model to where they almost exclusively want to buy or sell trailers to massive truckload companies that can buy these huge quantities, and for good reason. They know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, if JB Hunt buys 15,000 trailers or puts an order in 15,000 trailers, they're going to take every single one of those.
Yeah, every single one.
If the economy crashes 2 years from now, JB Hunt's still picking those trailers up. They're still buying
them up
them
and running freight.
If a smaller company buys, 100 trailers from them, and over the course of several years, I forgot to mention that the 15,000 is over the course of several years, because you can't buy 15,000 at once. No one's building them that fast. They're not like Chevrolets. They do take a little time to build. But if
there's no yard you can go to, Wabash lot you can go to and say, I need 15,000, and can you get them to me in an hour?
No, as a matter of fact, the reefer place you were talking about that they build the refrigerator trailers for Wabash, they can build 5,000 a year. So
so this is
it's a huge order.
It's
a massive order.
Wow.
So they So if a smaller company purchases these trailers, 100 trailers, I'll take them over the course of 2 years.
Right.
The economy slows down. They'll just say, I don't want to buy them.
Yeah.
And the problem is major companies like your JB Hunts and your Primes, your Swift, all those guys, they're building trailers to their spec. They want these trailers with the axles they use. They want them with the bracing the way they use it. For the most part, their trailers are the same no matter what. They don't have 3 different axle vendors. They don't have different kingpin configurations. They try to keep it as consistent as possible. So if someone backs out of a trailer, it's not easy to sell. They can't just turn around and say, hey, Prime, here's an extra trailer.
Right, because it's not meeting their spec.
It's not meeting their spec.
Yeah.
So you've got a situation where the smaller companies, such as ours, struggle to be able to get our orders filled because we can't buy in that bulk. So basically what we're doing, what Wabash is doing, and Wabash is getting the news for it, but make no doubt about it, Great Dane and Hyundai and Morgan, all those guys, they're all trying to do the same thing. They are basically filling up their calendars with all this work, and they're saying, we can carve out a few days here and run some random production, and then skip a couple weeks, and then we can cut out some production time here, and then skip a couple weeks, and then we can do some more here. And that's where we're trying to fit in our orders. But that book is so deep.
We're competing with all the other.
We're competing with all the other small guys.
All small guys that are trying to pick up not just 21, 22-foot boxes, but full 53-foot trailers.
Absolutely.
And trying to squeeze ourselves in there.
Yeah.
It's tough. I mean, on the one hand, you look at a company like Wabash doing that. They've got 15,000 trailers over several years. It keeps their people employed.
It does. It makes sense from this is what's frustrating about it is that I sympathize with them.
Sure.
If I was in their position and I could do that,
Right.
I would.
Great. Let's do it.
Absolutely, let's do it. I mean,
it.
even our company, Hyfield Trucking, we are of a certain scale that we can do similar on a smaller scale, but we can do that sort of thing.
Sure.
And we do when we can and when it makes good sense. So I do understand why they're doing it.
Right.
I understand why the truckload guys are doing it. And plus, it's coming off of a couple of years of not being able to get trailers. A lot of plants shut down because of COVID.
Right.
And then once
Supply
they
chain
reopened, they
issues,
weren't they weren't able
our
to.
favorite term.
Yes. Yeah, supply chain issues have been rough. And that was part of the deal, too, was because of this order, they were able to get a 10-year deal on aluminum, Wabash was, to be able to secure to build all these trailers. They were able to guarantee that 10-year supply of aluminum. So it's been a really weird few years, and it just kind of shows everybody's dealing with it in their own way. The big truckload guys are pouring out their money the way they are. Yeah. So
Interesting stuff.
It is interesting, yeah, and it's changing our landscape. Price of the trucks going up. The quantity of trucks are going down. People are running older equipment they've ever ran. Which means shops are more busy than they've ever been.
Right, because they're repairing the older equipment.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then
you got to find parts for this stuff.
Exactly, the
and
parts.
And we go back to that phrase that we all love: supply chain issues.
Yeah,
it's still very tight out there.
It is it's very interesting, but part of that's getting creative, figuring things out that assist you when things go awry, right?
It is, yeah. You have to be creative with everything we do, it seems like these days, and find another way. And one of those cliches that we all hate, you got to think outside the box. It's a cliche, but it's so true. You got to find new ways to do things and just be creative with how you're doing it. You really do.
It is. I'll give you an example of that. We were able to, one of our vendors, not Thermo King location, but another vendor, repaired a truck that was damaged in a bad wreck. And they were able to, they had to replace the refrigerator, the reefer unit on it. And they took it and just kind of set it on the ground. And I was talking to them one day about just having issues finding certain parts for one of our reefer trucks that were very back ordered. And they were like, "We've got this thing sitting. Would you be interested in looking to see if your parts are on it?" We weren't able to get parts for the issue we were looking for, but we were able to get several other parts off it
for other issues,
and we've used all of those. So it's been, interesting trying to be creative, finding solutions for, hey, if we can't get a part, let's find it elsewhere.
Let's find it somewhere else.
Had a deer hit our truck hit a deer not too long ago, and I was able to find the grill, an aftermarket grill, but it was in Missouri. It was the only one in the country left.
Wow.
So I drove out to Missouri to pick up that grill and bring it back. That's the kind of creative stuff we're having to do right now to keep.
I remember the time that we needed a grill for our truck, and it happened that you had a truck here that couldn't go out because of licensing reasons, and we were able to swap that grill off of that truck, put it on our truck, and then when our grill came in like 2 months later, we happened to be coming back through, and I was able to put that grill, the new grill, onto the truck that needed the grill. So it's 2-3 month wait time for a grill for a truck. It seems unusual, but it happens.
And a lot of them, it's plastic.
Yeah, it is. It's plastic.
It's a piece of plastic that's got chrome paint on it.
Exactly.
But it's just it's been interesting. But I think that's one thing that companies like ours shine in, is being flexible, being able to figure things out. Also having a quantity of trucks. Like we've had a few trucks go down that have been down for a couple months now.
Right.
But we were able to immediately zig left and put the team in a different truck
and keep them producing.
And keep producing.
Sure.
And it hadn't always been ideal situations, but it's worked.
Well, we make it work.
Yep. So
we make it work.
I really like that aspect of what we do. I like that creative thinking, again, keeping us on our toes, keeping us stretched. I don't want it all the time. Like, certainly we need a break. But it does keep us fresh. It does keep us thinking quick.
I think a lot of that boils down to the team that you put together too. Not to make this the Patrick on the back party, but
that's fine.
We have a team that is willing to go the extra mile to make things happen, so that we have contractors on the road that are happy in their truck and be able to produce and keep making money.
Absolutely. There was one thing, I don't know if you remember or not. There was one thing I told you when y'all came on staff, and I've mentioned it to several other people. We brought them on staff. What's my biggest pet peeve? The one thing I said, we just doesn't fly over here.
Those 3 words.
Those 3 magical words.
It's not my job.
That's the one.
Yeah, and I told you I would only say 4 words, no, but all of us come together and we realize that at the size that we are, if we try and stay completely within our lane of what we think our job is, we're going to drop the ball on so much stuff because we have to have each other's back and work together to pick up the slack if there's one person's overloaded, but also just to come up with ideas and creative ways of making things happen. If we can't do that, we can't be successful. We've got to find those ways to make things happen.
Absolutely. And what I think is great about it is when you are put in a position where you have to now help someone out, right? Let's say you're on the giving side, like I have some spare time, or I can help you out here.
Sure.
Sometimes you bring a fresh perspective, and we do get that a lot of times where, someone of us will go in and say, "Hey, let me help you out with this," and then while we're doing it, it's like, we could do it this way, or this program is free, we could use it, and it doesn't maybe even free up a resource.
Sure. Well, from one of the things that I've noticed from the operations perspective, with using the app that we use, and the way we've changed things a little bit from when Melissa and I came in was we have a way of knowing what truck needs what repair and following up. So we're not going up just based off of memory or paper notes that may get lost. We have that way of knowing what's going on. So the entire staff, not just operations, but everyone can see what the status is on these trucks that we're trying to get cleaned up and turned.
Absolutely. And originally we were using Apple Notes, a shared note, and that was just kind of what we were doing to get trucks prepped and ready. And it worked when you had a couple trucks, but now that our fleet's over 100 trucks, it's just not practical anymore. And being able to migrate to that new program and everybody has visibility on it, it saves a lot of back and forth communication, and it helps us stay a whole lot more organized. And I like it a lot. It's really been super helpful.
Yep.
Just like on the maintenance side, I know we have Smartsheet we use, and we have a special program and everything back end built just for us, and that's helped us out tremendously as well. It's literally cut hours off of Jimmy's daily tasks.
I believe it.
Which is great because we brought him on. We had 50 trucks, and now we have over 100. And
so it's doubled since he's been on, 2 years now?
Yeah. Fun times.
So are you telling me that we're going to double when we're on for 2 years? We'll be at over 200? No comment. No comment. That's fine. That's fair to not comment on that.
I think so.
You think what?
I think you will.
Supply chain probably dictates that won't happen.
I get it.
But you never know.
You never know.
Never put yourself in a box. The minute you say, I'm going to get to, X number of trucks, and that's where we're going to be, and that's our happy spot,
right?
That's the minute you start declining, and then all of a sudden you find yourself in a spot where you can't fill your trucks, and there's got to be an element of excitement with what you do.
There has to.
I mean,
otherwise, why do it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, keep it interesting, keep it real. Jim Cramer, love him, Mad Money guy. He always talks about being in your own portfolio and working your own stock market and everything. And he talks about keeping some stocks in speculative markets your entire life.
Right.
Never completely pull out of that market. You should never just have a set. These are the consistent
performers.
Yeah, these are
the blue chip stocks.
Exactly. Get my GE check in the mail every month. You should, he says, have that, but that shouldn't be your extent.
Sure.
You should always have something speculative, something exciting to keep you in the game. And so, I think that's part of why we push ourselves so hard. Is let's keep it exciting. Let's make sure we're just around the bend. And
it's important.
It is important. And even from a not a growing perspective, but from a Hyfield family perspective, and Hyfield family is the pool we have here. Or the name we have here, that kind of encompasses all of our teams, all of our staff, all of our advertising, and all of our communications, and that is hashtag Hyfield Family, and that is the fundamental belief that we kind of work together as a cohesive family. We are not working for each other; we are working with each other.
Certainly,
we are not.
yeah.
When we get together and work, we work hard. When we get together to play, we play hard. We bicker like family. We celebrate like family. Just like your family at Thanksgiving, our fleet is far and wide on opinions, but at the end of the day, we all respect each other and work well with each other. And we really just have this great culture that I'm so proud of. And, this year, for New Year's, we've actually done something we've been trying to do for years. We've been talking about this for years. And that is, we are doing a Hyfield family cruise.
Oh, that's awesome.
It is. So we are bringing, we put together a group through Royal Caribbean. It's going to be on the Wonder of the Seas, December 30th through January 7th or 8th.
7th or 8th. I think it's 7th.
7th.
I think so. Yeah.
Jerry's checking his calendar over there.
Go get it, Jerry. We're cruising out of Port Canaveral, which is cool. I like Port Canaveral. So I've cruised out a bunch of places. Miami's fun because it's Miami. You go to South Beach.
Exactly.
You have some Cuban food,
Yes, Cubano.
Yeah, walk on the beach at
Even
night
though
and try
it's
not
not
to get
Cuban.
robbed.
Right. Good Cuban style rum.
Good. Yes. Yes. And that's fun, but it can be a bit adulty, and if you have younger people or whatever, it's a little bit more of a challenge.
It really is.
But Cape Canaveral, where we're sailing out of,
Got Orlando
right there. Yeah. So now we're talking Disney.
Yeah.
Now we're talking
the
Mickey
Mouse.
Mouse. Yes. And if someone wants to go down for a couple days ahead of time, then go see. Go to Epcot or the Magic Kingdom or something. I'm too cheap for that. That's way too expensive for me.
Me too.
But a lot of times we'll go down and go to downtown Disney, hang out there, have some food, listen to some live music, some shows.
It's a good time. It's a good time.
It's a really good time.
You're not paying the Disney prices to get into the theme park, but you can still have a good time with the characters and that type of thing. So,
absolutely. And the food's probably it's not as expensive as being in the park.
No, but it's still
pricey food. But it's to me, with everything you're getting for free, it's reasonable. So say we go to Texas Roadhouse, right, and I'm going to get my ribeye steak.
Right.
It's going to be $19, I think, or something like that.
Sure.
In Disney, they're not going to have that restaurant, downtown Disney, but they are going to have a steakhouse there where I'm going to pay $30, $25 to $30 for that same steak.
Right. It's the Disney tax.
It's a Disney tax, and then on top of that, I'm in a building, our facility. It's beautiful,
right? And
I'm dealing with waiters.
The atmosphere is amazing.
The atmosphere is amazing. The waiters and waitresses are all on point. They're outstanding.
Sure.
The free entertainment in the streets. A lot of times the entertainment's inside the restaurant. It makes up for it.
Yeah,
absolutely does. And parking's free. I mean, that's crazy to me.
It is crazy. Parking's free there.
It just blows me away.
Huge parking lots.
Huge parking lots. It ends up being a lot of fun. So you do that. Next day, you're getting on a cruise ship. I mean, it's a great migration. NASA's right there, so if they are shooting anything off, I guess
you've got ULA, SpaceX, all launch rockets there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's just not just the cruise, but the entire experience. The couple of days before and after, if you want to stay there, there's so much more you can do. One of Melissa and my favorite places in Florida is Flagler Beach, just north of Orlando or Cape Canaveral and Daytona.
Yeah,
they've got orange sand at Flagler Beach.
Orange sand, like orange crush sand.
It's like burnt orange sand.
Really?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's nice.
It's like a
nice
mineral
beach.
or something that's in it.
Yeah, Jerry knows it. See?
That's right. I forgot you used to live in Orlando. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty coal space.
Huh. We'll have to go there.
We'll have to go there and see the orange sand.
How does
Hyfield family field trip?
All right.
To see the orange sand.
It sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's cool.
Absolutely
it's really
does.
Cool. You hear about this orange sand, you think, it's probably just pale. No, it's orange. It's nice burnt orange.
Well, I tell you what, you hear about like white sands of Florida. That's what they're known for, right? And until you're standing in like Destin or Panama City Beach or whatever, and the sun is literally, or the sand is burning your eyes.
Yeah.
It's so bright.
So bright. Yeah.
Or you're there in the middle of the night and it's just stupid bright because of how that moon reflects off the sand.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe. Growing up in Louisiana, anytime we would go to the beach, it was always Florida, like Pensacola or Destin or Panama City Beach, and we're kind of that redneck Riviera area.
Okay. Yeah.
And we would, because we could actually leave first thing in the morning, get out there, hang out all day, drive right back home, no hotel, nothing. But talk about spoiling. All I ever knew was white sandy beaches. I had no idea the sand could be like brown or tan or whatever. We go to Mexico. I remember the first time I went to Mexico, I'm all excited, like, all right, Mexican beaches are going to be even that much better than what they were here at home.
No.
And they're just rock and shale, and it's like, ooh, this is not
so
what I
much
expected.
Fun. Yeah. Well, I grew up in L.A., Los Angeles, not Lower Alabama, and we had the brown sand and the seaweed and the brown water.
Yes.
So it wasn't until we took our first family vacation, I think it was a cruise in the Caribbean, that I could actually see the bottom of the ocean, the sand through the water.
Yeah.
That I knew there was something different.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see that water actually can be blue.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful.
And on this Hyfield cruise, we're calling it Hyfield at Sea, that we're doing, a couple of places we're going, you can get on the water. It'll be, chest high, neck high.
Yeah.
And you can actually look straight down. You can see your feet. You can see the fish swimming around you. Yeah.
I'm getting a pedicure so
fun.
I can see my feet and not be disgusted by them.
Well, you can't see that much detail.
Just being careful about it.
We're Crocs. We're sand shoes.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll bring my shower shoes out of retirement.
I like it.
Gotta be good for something, right?
Yeah, shower shoes. We're all familiar with that term.
All
right?
familiar with shower shoes. Yeah. Well, you said work hard, play hard, and I was thinking about something else that we do where we work hard and play hard all in the same weekend, which is Expedite Expo coming up in July.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, where we work hard during the day, talking to folks and networking, and it's fun too because you get to talk to people that you haven't seen in probably since the last year or the last 2 years if they weren't there the last year. And then we also host the casino night and the after party.
Yes.
And we get to play a little bit as well as working. So if you are interested in meeting new people or learning about the expedite industry, Expedite Expo is a great place to go to get information.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you mentioned that because I wrote a couple of a little bit of information about it. So Expedite Expo is Crossroads of America truck show. So this year it's 2-in-1 shows.
Sure.
And it is going to be July 21st and 22nd in Fort Wayne, Indiana at the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum. So that's July 21st through the 22nd, 2023 in the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum in Fort Wayne, Indiana. It is a lot of fun. We are going to be in booth 413, 413 this year. We are right next to Expediter Services. You won't be able to miss us. The two of us have the two biggest booths. We're dead center of the the truck show.
Our booth last year is going to be hard to top.
I think we could do it.
You think so?
Yeah. It was
You put the challenge out to Kelly and Delina.
Not yet. They don't. They're going to know.
They're going to know when they hear
this.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
gauntlet's been thrown.
It has.
They can do it.
Absolutely. I don't know how they're going to get the bowling alley in, but
we'll figure it out. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Skee ball's close to bowling.
Skee ball's close enough. Yeah, it's close enough.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Maybe duck pin bowling. The little balls, the little pins.
Yeah.
You don't. I guess I have a friend from Wisconsin who introduced me to duck pin bowling. Mm-hmm. So I'm not surprised really that you're from Louisiana and don't know what duck pin bowling is either. So
well, I'll have you know there's a place here in Columbus that you can do that.
There is.
There is.
We've never done it.
I did it. I did it one time.
Okay.
It's weird. The there's no finger holes in the balls. It's just it's a very strange sensation. This truck show is free. You can go to expediteexpo.com. Expedite Expo EXPEDITE. Expedite Expo EXPO.com and register. The only thing it costs is parking. Parking is $16 a day. I'll give you a little secret. If you get in there the first day
And don't leave.
they don't charge you for the second day.
There you go.
You can't stay there overnight. Usually there's people hanging out in the parking lot at night, and I've seen people out there barbecuing, grilling. Hyfield Family always brings out a huge spread. They always saddle up the horses, the trucks, and make it a fun event.
We always circle the wagons.
They always circle the wagons.
They've got porta-johns out there too for comfort.
Absolutely. Yep. It ends up being a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
Meet new friends. It never fails. Anytime we do these events, there's always someone that shows up and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I finally met Sally."
Right.
And she sells seashells.
By the seashore.
She does. I finally met Sally. I've been Facebook friends with Sally for 3 years now, and we've been driving and we've been crisscrossing the country and just missing each other all the time. And I finally got to meet her, and it was all exciting. She's so much sweeter than I thought she'd be, and all that stuff. It is always fun to hear those conversations happen, because you get to know someone so well without ever meeting
really
them,
do.
and then you finally get to meet them and find out. Just take that relationship that much further.
Yep.
Speaking of trade shows. So we are not sponsoring this trade show, but we will be at the Mid-America Truck Show.
When is that one?
That one is going to be coming up really soon, about a month. 2 months, March 30th through April 1st.
That's the one that's down in Louisville, right?
It's in Louisville at the Kentucky Expo Center. They have, this is the largest truck show in America. It's massive.
Can I stop you for a second?
No. Yes, go ahead.
Am I saying that right?
Which one?
Louisville? Yeah, I got to make sure I say that right.
Well,
I know it's not Louisville. Let's ask our southern boy.
Jerry?
I always say Louisville.
Louisville. All right. I just want to make sure I'm saying that right so I don't seem to sound too stupid on this thing. I'm sounding stupid already, but I'm sorry. I tried to interrupt. I just want to get that out.
No, it's all good. Trick to saying the name of a city in the South is think of how you would normally say it and then think of a lazy way to say it.
Okay.
The lazy way is always right.
Just get lazy with it.
It's not New Orleans. It's New Orleans.
New Orleans.
It's not Mobile. Yeah, it is Mobile.
It is Mobile.
It's not Mobile.
It's not Mobile.
Mobile or
right.
Mobile.
Gotcha.
Mobile's an oil company.
It's not Versailles.
It's Versailles.
No, it's not Versailles. It's Versailles.
Yeah.
So I'm confused. Okay.
Yeah. So it's
back to Matt's.
But we are going to be at the Mid-America Truck Show. Parking spree at this location. They have a huge, gigantic parking lot. It's off. The truck parking for overnight parking is actually not at the Expo Center. You got to go around the corner. The Mid-America Truck Show, which is truckingshow.com. They have directions on how to get there, but it's free. And you'll be able to stay there. And they have shuttles that go back and forth.
What's it cost to get into the show?
The show is free as long as you book. Register by a certain time. I think if you register on site, it's like $5 or $10.
Okay, so a nominal fee to get in.
A nominal fee to get in, but you can go online right now, register. Right. If you think you're going to go ahead and register.
Yeah, it makes sense. Why not?
And that way, when you get there, you'll be able to tell them what your registration number. They give you a badge. You'll be good to go. But we are going to be there with Panther Premium Logistics. Panther Premium Logistics is going to have a booth in the West Wing. That is booth 65024. Or if you'll do what I'm going to do, you're going to look it up on the floor plan when you get there, because I'm not going to remember 65024.
You've already forgotten.
I've already forgotten. It's in the West Wing, so it's with the president.
With the president, of course.
At the Mid-America Truck Show. It is going to be a lot of fun. Come out and see us. We'll have half a dozen Hyfield staff out there working that booth with Panther. We'll be talking about straight trucks, tractor opportunities with them. It'll be a great show. It's a huge show. When I say everybody's there, everybody's there. You want to go walk into a massive ARI sleeper and get an idea what it's like. ARI is going to have half a dozen trucks there.
Wow.
If you want to go, I don't know if Bolt's going to make it this year or not, but they typically do. You want to go talk to the people at Love's and find out, how their showers work. They're going to have a big spread there. I mean, it's everybody's there. It's crazy.
I'm looking forward to Matt's. I've never been to Matt's. I'm really looking forward to going and seeing the different exhibits and who's there and what they're talking about, and maybe I can find a job. Maybe
And
not.
on Friday night they have a concert. It's a free concert. Just get your tickets there.
Okay.
I can't recall who's playing. It's a country artist. He's an up and coming country artist. It looked really good last year or 2 years ago. It was I can't remember. But it was a big name act like
Okay. Yeah.
maybe Clint Black.
Clint Eastwood.
Sure. So that show's great. It's a lot of fun. Again, we'll be there representing Panther Premium Logistics. Come out and see us if you're in the area. It's a lot of fun. It's an easy place to get loads in and out of. Yeah.
Sounds like a good time.
It does. So I think that's going to wrap it up.
That was fun.
It was a lot of fun. As you can tell, again, we are new to this. We're trying to find our footing. We would love your comments and feedback. If you have thoughts on how we did, positive, negative, critical suggestions, please leave your comments. If you're watching us on YouTube, right there, send us a thumbs up if you liked what you saw. If you didn't like what you saw, hit the thumbs up twice. If you would like to get in touch with anyone from Hyfield Trucking to hear a little more about what we do, we have our hyfieldtrucking.net, HYFIELD trucking, TRUCKING.net, is a place on there to get in touch with us, and you can also get in touch with us with a link and phone number in the comment or in the description.
Yeah.
If you're listening to us on a podcasting forum, please give us a like, give us a positive review. We're just getting started. I know this is not a polished, great product yet, but with your help, we are going to get it there, and we are very excited about the future. We are thanking you for being one of the first people to hear us, and
I look forward to doing this again next week, Patrick.
I do too. I feel a lot better about it now.
Good.
Looking forward to this.
Good. Yeah.
I didn't feel bad about it. I'm just
No, but it's
nervous.
a little more comfortable.
Yeah, a little more comfortable.
It'll keep getting that way.
Absolutely. Now that I see that, you and I actually have things to say.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just got to talk Jerry into saying a little more. If you want to hear more about Jerry or more from Jerry, please just feel free to leave that in the comments as well.
Leave that in comments. We want to hear Jerry's voice too.
Yeah, he has opinions and thoughts.
Hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button, and I'll talk more.
You heard it right here. You heard it
Heard it here first.
here.
Yeah.
In the meantime, everybody, thank you for listening. Please drive safe and have a good evening.
Good night.
Good night.